I see people leaving a towel underneath their client. You can't leave a towel there because then when you're putting the solution on, the towel is going to draw the solution off the hair. So you want to make sure you cape them, but you want a non-porous type covering on your client. And you want to towel dry them. So they're not dripping wet, but you don't want them to be totally dry either.
So how long have you been doing this, Liz, for Brazilian blowout?
Almost 4 years. Carly, am I hurting your head?
No, not at all. I'll let you.
Have you seen this brush out? The wet brush?
No.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
Have you ever had one of these, Carla?
One time.
One time?
Mm-hmm. It's great.
How long has it been?
It's been about 12 weeks.
Yep.
Hasn't it?
Yeah, I think just a little over 12 weeks.
It's worked really well.
So you can see how kind of curly, frizzy her hair is right now.
Mm-hmm.
And she's color treated as well. So all that curl, we leave a lot of her curl because you can't, it's a smoothing treatment, not a straightening treatment. It's not going to take out all her curl. Some people it can take the curl out, but curl like this it can't. It just doesn't have the capability. It's not permanent, it's demi-permanent. So it only lays on the surface of the hair, so it doesn't change the structure of the hair. But it'll take all this frizz out and it will relax her curl so it's manageable for her, so her hair won't be so poofy. She actually, the last time we did this, when she left here, somebody asked her if she had extensions because her hair had gotten so long.
Wow.
Now, when her hair dries up, if we left it like this, her hair would rest on her shoulders. You see how much longer it is now.
So
After
now
this,
you're
it
combing it
doesn't.
through?
So now we're just sectioning.
Sectioning, okay.
And I always section into 4 or more sections. And it can be any kind of sectioning that the particular stylist wants, depending on the thickness of the hair. But I always say 4 sections at least. Because if you don't section the hair, you're going to miss something. And then you're not going to know where you missed it. And that's never good to have 1 section of hair that didn't get properly treated and 3 sections that did. She's got a really thick hair, so we're going to take thinner sections when we apply and thinner sections when we blow dry and thinner sections when we flat iron than someone who had finer hair. You want to swirl the bottle. You don't need to shake it, but if you have a pump on your bottle, you want to swirl the bottle or give it a little toss because it is chemicals, it will separate. So you want to make sure that you're swirling all the chemicals together. And then if you have a cap, you're going to pour 1 cap into your bowl. Always pour into the cap. If you have a pump, you're going to pump 4 pumps for half a head. So 4 to 8 pumps will do a head, 1 to 2 caps will do a head.
Okay. And that is what it should look like in your bowl.
That is what it should look like if you have thicker hair.
Does not look like much, Liz.
It's not much. That will do a whole head because you don't want her hair to dry out. If her hair starts to dry out, you mist her with a water bottle, you'll use less product. You're dusting the product on. You're not coating the product. And always wear gloves.
Why?
Because amino acids are meant to be on the hair, not on the skin. Your skin is not meant to accept amino acids. It will make you wrinkle up like you've been in the pool for too long. Number 1. Number 2 is you'll pull it back off the hair. And again, you'll get a spotty result. So we don't want a spotty result ever.
Right.
Okay? Okay, so 1 tap down into the bowl, not scooping, just going down into the solution and putting till you almost can't see it. You want to make sure that if the hair is getting dry, you're misting it. And you want to take your bristles all the way from roots to ends with thicker hair. With finer hair, if you want some volume left, you want to stay off the root here and in the crown area, because if you leave that little bit of frizz at the root, you'll leave a little volume in the hair. And you always want to comb all your sections together. That way, if you missed a spot, the solution is going to get it anyway.
Okay. So how do you know if you've applied too much solution?
If you've applied too much solution, you'll see it on your comb, you'll see white. And if you see white when you're combing it through, bring the next section down and marry the sections together. Don't continue to apply, because you're just going to waste product.
And if you look closely, you can really see how frizzy our hair normally is.
And this isn't bad, because she still has a little bit of this in, so you can imagine
Right.
if she had let it go all the way out of her hair. Like I said, her hair is normally up here. And with color, You want to color prior to this service because you cannot color for 7 to 14 days. We say 10 to 14 days after this service because it coats the cuticle layer and the color will just slide back off.
So what, is there any benefit to coloring first and then doing the Brazilian blot right afterwards?
Yes, it's going to seal your color in longer. Because when we color hair, what color does is open the cuticle layer and it goes into the hair shaft and the molecules sit there. Well, if the cuticle layer doesn't then close down, the color molecule can come right back out. So this closes the cuticle layer and encompasses it. It makes kind of a shield for the color. So the color can't come back out.
Right.
So even if it's demi-permanent, you do want to, if you're using demi-permanent color or a more translucent color, if you are doing the color service the same day, you want to use your anti-residue shampoo prior to the color service, get them squeaky clean then color, then one anti-residue after the color because it can move the color. So you want to be kind of mindful of that. I've never had a problem with it, but some color lines can move half a level.
Right.
So if you think that it might move your color, dial it down a half a level. That way it'll be the right color when you're done. And again, no conditioner, even after color, because if you're doing this right after color the same day, you don't want to put conditioner on.
Well, you really won't need it, will you?
No, but if you do anti-res shampoo, you're gonna, the hair's gonna be tangled, so
Right.
you're inclined to want to put
Right.
And she gets dry pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I keep spraying her with the water bottle.
So there's no Brazilian blot on that water bottle. It's just
Plain old
straight water. This is the part that I really wanted people to see. How quickly you move, how little product you actually put in the hair, how evenly you put it in.
This, and a lot of people ask me this, there is no processing time with this at all. However, say I got a phone call and I needed to walk away for a minute. I could. It's not going to hurt her hair. I actually could go get on a plane and leave the country. It's not going to do anything.
Have you done that?
No. No, but maybe we should try that next. That should
I'm
be
game.
our next. Carlo, want to try that next?
Not with me, please.
Come on, it'll be fun. Because it has because we don't mix the product with anything and it has no processing time, and because it doesn't do anything, while it's sitting on her hair, it's doing absolutely nothing. Until we heat it up with the flat iron, that's what heats the polymer. The blow dryer does nothing to it, it just gets it dry. But the flat iron is what heats the polymer to seal it to the hair. So it's really doing nothing right now. Okay, so that's one section done. And yes, I put a clip in it just so I know where I'm at.
Okay.
So I know that section's done. And if that section starts to dry out, the solution's already on there, I don't have to worry about that. It's the sections that don't have the solution. And I always work from the front to the back, just a preference. If you prefer to work from the front back, you can. But this is my preference.
Okay.
Okay, so real important tools to have when you're doing these is number one, a good applicator brush comb combo if you can get one, and a boar bristle brush. This is super important when you're doing your application or you're blow drying. That's going to help work the solution into the cuticle layer of the hair as well. And if you missed a spot with the solution, it's going to help get it there.
Does it have to be a round brush?
It does not have to be a round brush.
Okay.
It can be a paddle brush, just as long as it's a boar bristle brush.
Okay.
And that's only when you're drying the solution into the hair. When you do your final blow dry, you can use a regular brush.
But have you found that the round brush was more preferable to a flat paddle brush?
I'm just more comfortable with a round brush. Some people are more comfortable with a paddle brush, so it really does not matter.
Okay.
Because when we're blow drying, we're doing absolutely nothing other than working the product in. It's not processing it at all. It's not doing anything like that.
But you're also detangling the hair at the same time, correct?
Yes, and if you do get to the point where the hair is so tangly after you've done the anti-residue shampoo, you can take some of this solution, put it in your hands, with gloves on, of course, and run it through the hair, and it will take all the tangles out. But you have to remember that you've already put that solution in the hair, so you don't add too much solution.
Well, when I do a close-up on the hair looks damp, but it doesn't look like soaking wet.
Right. And it's not. You don't want the hair to be dripping wet, but you want it to have some water in it. And the water is just helping you to apply less product.
But aren't you afraid that you're going to miss some spots?
No. Because you can feel it. You can feel where it is and where it isn't with the polymer in it. Like if you felt the hair here and the hair here, you can tell the difference in where the solution is and where the solution isn't.
Okay, well, what about those people that say, well, I'd rather just, just use a lot more product and make sure I get it all over?
You're just wasting product and then you're not using it properly. You're not using the product as directed. Just like if you have a headache and you go and take 2 Tylenol, your headache goes away. You use the product as directed. However, if you have a headache and you take 48 Tylenol, you go to the hospital, you get your stomach pumped, you got a whole host of other issues because you didn't use the product as directed. So same difference. Less is more with this. It doesn't take much. You're just wasting it and it's a lot of money. And you cannot take this and put it back in the bottle because that's cross-contamination. So,
Nice to know.
yeah. And it'll make your eyes water if you use too much, like you cut an onion.
And that's a product you definitely don't want to waste,
Right.
like liquid gold.
Yes. Yes, you could make $10,000 with that bottle easily if you used it properly.
Okay, speaking of money, let's get on that subject.
Let's. I love that subject. You know I love that subject.
Okay, what do you charge for your area? We're in Jacksonville Beach, Florida. So what is the going rate for somebody like with her length of hair?
The going rate for somebody with her length of hair, because it's a time issue, starts at $300. Because it takes, she's here for 2.5 hours. She might be here for a little longer because we chat. But for 2.5 hours, or at least 2 hours, I can't do anything but her hair.
But they say you can do this in an hour and a half.
You can. You get to where you can do them in an hour and a half, but when you've got a thicker client, like
You spend more time with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a lot more passes on her, and they're a lot slower than somebody who has finer hair that I'm only gonna do 5 passes on. If somebody with finer hair with 5 passes, I'm gonna do it a lot quicker in an hour and a half, no problem. But her, no. That's like, so last section, and you can see she's getting pretty dry, so of course we're going to continue to mist her while we're applying. And see, I just put 1/4 of a cap in there. I'll probably have more than enough to do. But
Okay.
that will not go back in the bottle. It goes right down the drain.
Oh, that's a shame.
It is, but you can't cross-contaminate. And I always want to pay special attention to these little frizzies around her hairline.
Okay.
Because I want to make sure that we get those, because that is a really very dominant around the hairline with people with curly hair. They get really frizzy around the hairline, and that's the worst area. And if I get too much product on my brush, I just swipe it off on the side of the bowl. And see, when I'm combing, I'm not getting product on my comb. So that's how I know that I don't have too much product on the hair.